Good morning, everyone, and welcome to IGCSE Wizard. Today, I'm here to give you a guide through the IGCSE course. As an ex-IGCSE student, I will tell you what I could have done differently, what my mistakes were, what I wanted to do differently if I could start over again, and generally some tips and tricks that I used to use throughout my course. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump into the video. So first we'll be talking about IGCSE, what it is, and then we're going to talk about the subject choosing and how you can manage your time. And the next thing is a lot of people ask, how can I improve? I'll be answering some of those questions. And resources, what can you get from the internet, and what are the good places to get from? And basically a small summary, and I'll also give some bonus tips. Okay, so first, IGCSE stands for International General Certificate of Secondary Education. It is all over the world, so you don't need to worry that, okay, if I study in this country, will there be any problem? No, it's internationally recognized and it's accepted everywhere in the world. It's generally a 2-year course. It means you study for 2 years and then you give exams, but you can also switch it up. You might study some subjects and give an exam after 1 year and then study the other subjects and give after 1 year. You can switch it up, but it's generally my recommendation. What I personally did was study for 2 years and then give the exam. A number of subjects that's mandatory by the Cambridge board is 5 subjects, and you can take a maximum of 14 subjects, but generally people tend to go from 6 to 8, and English, science, and math are compulsory. So if you're wondering that you're a business student, yes, science is still compulsory. For example, my friends who were business took combined science and some took chemistry. But you have to have science even if you're a business student, and English and math is self-explanatory. Okay, let's talk about the subject choice and time management. Okay. Generally, your subject choice should be something related to your future. So for example, you want to study computer science in the future, you're gonna take computer science in your IGCSEs. You want to study physics in future, you want to be a scientist, you're gonna take physics, maths, and those things. I mean, maths is mandatory, but you want to take let's say you want to go to the medical field, you're gonna take biology, chemistry, and all of those. So you can generally you're gonna take something that suits your future career, and it's really important to sort it out from now on, because future you have A levels where you need to be more specific on where you want to go. So it's better to choose it out now and then move on to that path and not being confused in the future. Subject that you're interested about, like maybe you wanna go into physics stuffs, but you also love chemistry, so you're gonna take chemistry. Just an example, you're gonna take something like that. And something you also be looking forward to is having a set target to any university that you wanna go in, and you have to find out a university that offers your subject, and you can check from their website what subjects they require in your O and A levels for that, and you can check that out and move on as needed. For example, if you're studying CS, you're required to have maths and physics in your O and A levels, but despite that, let's move on. Okay, time management is something really important, something you should not neglect, because IGCSE is, I'm not gonna say it's easy, I'm gonna say it's insanely hard. IGCSE, the main key to this thing is practice and practical knowledge most of the times. That's why I would recommend you to make a time schedule for every subject. You can put any subject, whatever subject you have. Make sure to distribute them evenly, not one subject too much. Okay, if you're weak in one subject, put that subject more. I don't mind that. If you're strong in one subject, you can maybe put 1 or 2 less in the routine, but make sure to put every subject evenly throughout this, and also try to maintain the schedule. It's better. There's not much I can speak in terms of time management, because every person deals with it differently and every person has the different circumstances. So you should sort this out on your own and create a routine. It's way more important than you think. In the first year, I actually didn't have a routine, but when I started going through the routine, my overall usage of time got way better, and I was able to like use that time more productively than I could before. Okay, the popular question, how to improve? First thing, practice, practice, practice. Nothing much to talk about here. Another thing that again, as you're practicing, you'll mostly be practicing past papers. So I recommend doing all variants, because if you're doing different variants, you're gonna face more variety of questions, and that is actually better, because in IGCSE you want that common pattern in the question, so that you can actually answer it. Their questions are really tricky, so you want that common pattern, so know that, okay, I know what I'm doing. So when you're solving your past papers, the mark schemes are also online. I will share you some resources that you can get from, but the mark schemes are also online, and you can get the past papers online. I personally printed, solved, and checked myself. So first take the paper, solve it within the time, and then take the mark scheme and then check it. Review your mistakes. It's really important, because if you don't review your mistakes, it's gonna pile up. Okay, you're like, okay, I'm gonna review my mistake later on. It becomes really a hassle later on to look at a lot of mistakes, and you're like, what is going on? I can't push all of these things in my head. So you did a past paper, check it, review your mistake, and go to the topic where you got it wrong from, and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You're gonna eventually become better at the topic. One more thing I want to talk about is that a lot of people think that improvement will be like this. If you think this is time and this is your improvement, you're gonna gradually improve as the time goes on. But generally, that does not happen. What instead happens is that your improvement will be something like this. First, I know when you're learning, this is like the learning phase. You'll be learning. You'll be like, okay, I'm learning. I'm getting this. But then you're gonna hit a stage that where you're like, okay, I don't know what's happening. Why I know this, but why did I get it wrong? Or I'm not able to process this. I know it, but I'm not able to process this. This is defined as a plateau of depression, and this is like a really important in a learning curve, because once you get past this, your growth will be exponential, not linear like this. Like once you get past this stage, it's really important. Like at this stage, a lot of people give up. Trust me, it's a part of the learning curve, and if you are doing bad, it's just your brain processing and setting the informations in your head so that you can do better next time. So once you get past this stage, you're gonna say like, oh wait, I'm really good at this topic. So just push through this phase and you'll be good to go. Okay, next one. Resources. A lot of people talk about it. For past papers, you can go to GCE guide, what I personally used, and you can also use PapaCambridge. Sometimes PapaCambridge has the papers faster than GCE guide. Again, it varies, but you can get some past papers faster in PapaCambridge than GCE guide, and that's not much of a problem. You can like get any past paper anywhere. To be honest, it's the era of internet. And then topical questions, I recommend Sigma exam. Sigma exam is good, but I recommend physics and math tutor more, because like, okay, let's say you finish a topic and you want to test your knowledge. Again, I will recommend to everyone that like once you finish a topic, go to physics and math tutor, get one of their worksheets and solve them. Print and solve, and then match with the mark scheme. They also give you the mark scheme, unlike Sigma exams. Sigma exams is kind of paid, so I don't like it more. I like physics and math tutor more. They also give you the mark scheme, and all the questions are from the past papers. So while you are learning, you will be also preparing yourself for the past papers. So it's kind of good. Again, everything comes down to the past papers in the end for your preparation. For notes, you can get from physics and math tutor. There's a section in physics and math tutor called like definition, where they have like all the key definitions that you need to know, or all the key concepts that you need to know for that topic. So it's really helpful. I find this really helpful, and I use this a lot. Sigma exams, again, this is a paid website. You can like look at the notes for free, but you cannot like download them, or there's some things. You can print the website, but again, there's a lot of things in the way. If your Z notes is not exactly updated, Zenotes is not applicable for the new syllabuses after 2023. From 2023. I don't know if they updated it yet, but by the time I was giving exam, I didn't find it updated to the new syllabus. So I would recommend you to check out Zenotes for the old topics that there are. Civ My Exam is really good, and you can always learn from YouTube and other places. Bonus tips. Okay, this is really important. Like this one. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, this is really important, that you finish your syllabus within the first year. Okay. First year. It's really important, because it is kind of a struggle if you don't finish your syllabus halfway through, and you have to also do the past papers. Like the past papers have all the question from all the topics, so you really want to be finishing that syllabus within the first year. And I'm gonna recommend is that if you don't finish within the first year, you're gonna have a struggle. Okay, my exam is coming in a year. I have not finished my syllabus. I have so many things to do. It cramps up in your head, and you generally don't want to have that. So what I would recommend is like work hard the first year, and then finish your syllabus, and then maybe relax a bit. Like, I'm not telling you to give up on studies. Relax a bit for like a week or two or a month. Depends on the way you are, and everyone works differently. Take a bit of relax. Study with relax. Take a bit of break, and then move on to the past papers. What I would recommend is like 5 years of past papers. It's really important. I know it sounds a lot. 5 years, all variants. It's really important, because what I did after I did them, and when I actually went into my exam, I'm like, okay, I know I have solved this type of question. I have solved this type of question before. I have solved this type of question. What does generally do? If you're in variant 1, they're sometimes putting variant 2 and 3 questions into that. If you're variant 3, they're sometimes putting variant 2 and 1 questions into that. So you really want to have the advantage of knowing all the question types. And variant 1 is generally harder than variant 2 and 3. Variant 1 has kind of generic questions, but they're kind of complicated. And variant 3 has unique questions, like they're gonna give you new concepts or new ideas or new ways of thinking. So, and variant 2 is basically the middleman, kind of easy, not that hard. If you're wondering, if you're going through something and look at like, okay, do I really need to know this? And like, okay, this seems really tough. Do I really need to memorize this? For example, when I was studying computer science, I was wondering, do I really need to memorize all these ASCII codes? The answer is no, you don't. That's what I did. I went into the syllabus and checked, okay, do I need to memorize the ASCII codes? I went into the topic, and there's written the students are not expected to memorize all these ASCII codes. So use that as a guide to your study. Whenever topic you're studying, put that syllabus in your screen or print it over, whatever it is. Just get the key things that they're telling. If you get those key things, it's gonna be it. Like, that is all you need for your exam, and the rest is just practice. Okay, use ChatGPT. This is an overpowered tool. Like, trust me, this is insanely overpowered. ChatGPT. Google, I always use Google as one of my key things when I'm like, okay, how do I solve this? I don't know this thing. Why is it this? I always use Google, because by my time ChatGPT wasn't up yet, or I got ChatGPT till the end of my close to almost the end of my exams. But anyways, leave it. YouTube is also a really good platform to help you out. You can always look out for YouTube videos, and they're really helpful. Another important thing about IGCSE is that the questions are really tricky. I know when it happens to all of us that okay, I can solve this, teacher, and then you ask your teacher and teacher explains, you're like, wait, that's really simple. So that is what they're basically trying to do. They are trying to overwhelm you with information or trick you into thinking it's something really complicated. So first, read the question at least 2 or 3 times. It's the best practice to read at least 5 times. But then break the question down. Into simple parts that you understand. You don't care what the question says when you can translate it into your own language. You care what the question says, but you are translating into something you understand. they're saying the sun's mass is this, you're gonna write down, okay, mass is equals to this. I don't need that, like sun's mass or whatever it is. You're gonna take that down and break it down into something that is understandable to you, and you can explain in your mind that what is happening here. If you find something unfamiliar in the exam hall, my best advice, skip it over and then do it at the last. You don't want to panic and like get your head jumbled up and then be like, okay, I know this question but I can't solve it. You don't want to do that to the things that you know. So if you find something unfamiliar, skip it, do it later. Skip it, do it later. But remember to do it later, and remember to keep time for that. Another thing is your concepts. Like once you solve your past papers, you're gonna find a lot of new concepts besides the syllabus. I mean, you're gonna get everything in the syllabus, you're gonna get some new ways of thinking. So once you get those new ways of thinking, it's gonna be way easier for you to actually like grip onto that subject really well. And if you have things like practicals such as ICT or computer science, ICT practicals is basically practicing in the computer. Practice on your own. You don't really need to do it at your school. Practice on your own, download the source files, do it, check it. It works that way. Everything just literally comes down to practice and how much you have done and how much you have interpreted into your mind. Computer science, again, practice the code. Practice is everything in IGCSE, to be honest. These are the sources you can use. I'm gonna leave a link to them down in the description, and I'm also gonna leave a link to some routine creators online or Pomodoro timers that you can use. Another pretty important advice will be that quality over quantity. 1 over concentrated studying is better than 5 hours of studying with a really messy head. So what you should be doing is, if you're studying, put a good amount of concentration into it, and then maybe concentrate for an hour and then go out for a break. It's recommended that you take a break after 1 hour, because it's really hard to hold the concentration for after 1 hour. So 1 hour, then take a break, and then again come back, concentrate, study, and then go again come back. Okay, that's just my way, the way I would like to do if I could redo it, and some things I all did, some tips I found throughout the way. And if there's anything you want to ask about or know, comment down below. I'll check it out. And thank you all for watching this video. See you later, and like, share, and subscribe if it helped you out. Thank you. Have a great day.